여기가 장인어른께서 어린 시절을 보냈던 동네래요. 이 집이래요.
So like 1 week before my mom passed away, my grandma passed away. And then my aunts and uncles that live on the East Coast, they were dealing with this house. And yeah, it sold last summer to a family, supposedly. It looks the same, like a lot of the plants in the front my grandma and grandpa planted. But the big magnolia tree that I remember from my childhood, which was right in the middle of their lawn, it's no longer there.
There we go. You see the house. We had a nice big magnolia tree that's there. Fantastic.
But it's still the same white color that it was when I lived here, or when I visited here, and the house numbers are the same, and it just looks less taken care of.
이 집은 장인어른께서 어린 시절을 보낸 곳이고, 그리고 레이도 여기 자주 와서 놀랐기 때문에 레이한테는 아주 소중한 추억이 있는 집이라고 하더라고요.
This is a field. They keep it cut, and then we who live here also mow it out here. But this was.
My grandpa said he loved this neighborhood, like where their house is, because this space behind the houses could never be built on because it's part of like a protected land. So this whole area is just open for all the residents, and he loved golf. So this is where he would like practice golfing. It's so long. My dad would work on cars back here too. I also remember because like my grandparents were really involved in the community here. They knew everyone. So when we would walk back here with my grandpa, he would just like stop at everybody's fence and just be like, oh, well, hey, Barb. Hey, John. Hey, Bob. How's it going? And then he just like talk to everybody along the way. It looks like nobody's here.
Yeah.
The community must have changed a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the backyard. Wow, it changed so much. It's so sad because the backyard used to be like my grandfather's favorite place. Like he used to come out every single morning and feed all the birds. So many different plants. They had a hammock back here. I'm not just saying that, it's nice. It really is.
You're a good daughter-in-law, Sean.
My favorite daughter-in-law.
Oh, no. I'm not that serious. And like this little porch here, I have so many photos on this porch. It's so strange because I believe my grandparents bought this house in the 70s. That means they had it for 50 years.
Wow.
And now it's like this. It's a shame.
세월의 장사가 없네요. 많이 변했대요.
And this is also their close friend.
Your new neighbor?
Did you know the family that lived here before?
He died 12 years ago.
I'm their granddaughter. Yeah,
You're grown.
I'm much bigger now. Yes. This is my husband. So
Hi.
yeah.
Glad to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Your granddad was my golfing partner.
See, I told you. Yeah, I remember he used to practice back here all the time, and
I got no golfing partners
oh,
left.
that's so sad. I'm so sorry. But I hope you have good memories with your golfing partners.
And my wife would have been glad to meet you, but she passed in December.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry for
Yeah.
the loss.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So my
Oh, that's wow. I didn't mean for it to be such like an emotional visit, but I'm so sorry.
no, I'm really glad to meet you. It's first heard that name.
Do you remember her dad?
Yes.
See? Isn't it amazing?
Yeah. I remember you and probably your dad walking down to the river.
That I was just gonna take my husband over that direction. Recently, we actually watched some VHS tapes that my grandfather had filmed, and it showed your backyard.
Yeah.
And my grandfather had said that you had some family visiting from Germany.
Nancy, and of course, there's our neighbors again. Of course, obviously, she was German, and that's her sister who just got over today from Germany, and they're going to spend a month here, and they got relatives down in Florida.
Does that sound correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife was German.
Oh, your wife was German.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was so fascinating, and it's amazing that now I'm seeing you here, because that VHS tape would have been 30 years old, or
You must have been have a good memory. Have a safe trip back.
Thank you so much.
And if you get down this way, I'll still probably be here.
It sounds perfect.
So it's got to be in the next 5 or 10 years because I'm not going to live beyond that.
We'll try. We'll try to be here in 5 to 10 years, okay?
Okay.
Very wonderful to see you. So,
Pleasure.
yeah, it's been
Being
a
a
pleasure.
beautiful lady
Thank you so
and
much.
a handsome gentleman. And what got you, her beauty or her love?
We met when I actually lived in South Korea for a couple of years, and
Oh.
I met him when I was living in South Korea, and we got married, and now we live in America.
Yeah.
It's an interesting
Beautiful.
life.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, it was so nice to see you, and I wish you all the best. And
Okay, take care.
Take care.
can I ask your phone number? Maybe we can stay in touch sometimes if you'd like that. Here, I've got you in my phone. We should stay in touch, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, okay?
If you send me anything, I'll respond.
Perfect. Sounds good. Okay. Bye.
이 할머니 할아버지 때 뒤에는 이렇게 멋진 등산 코스도 있었나 봐요.
It's still so interesting that that guy lives there. I can't believe it. He knew my grandfather. It was so sad that he said, "Oh, your grandfather was my best friend." Oh, my grandfather passed away 12 years ago. He even knew the exact amount of years too. Oh yeah, you can see the river down there.
Yeah?
And this is like a giant slope. So my brother and I used to just slide down the hill. And it's like kind of like clay. So you would just be covered in orange clay at the end of the day. This is what we would slide down. Like
근데-
right here, this section.
이런 데서 막 미끄럼틀 타고 놀았대요. 역시 미국 애들은 강하게 커요. 그리고 웨이가 여기 땅 파면은 막 캐넌볼이랑 막 원주민들의 막 무기 이런 게 막 나왔대요. 그래서 남동생이랑 여기 와가지고 막 쌍 파고 놀았대요. 막 유물 찾는.
But you can see how the cliff is just orange clay.
와, 어떻게 여기서 미끄럼틀 타고 놀았지? 역시 미국 애들은 강한 애들만 살아남아요. 버지니아는 그냥 자연 경관이 이래요. 습지인 데가 많고 이렇게 늪지대도 많고 모기 많이 나오겠다 여름에.
The scary thing about Virginia rivers is there are snakes in the water. So when we were swimming in here, my cousin flipped a tire that was at the bottom of the river and just snakes came out while we were swimming.
무서워. Are you sure? What if it was an eel?
No, it was snakes. It was like black snakes. And also the thing about many Virginia rivers is the water is very murky and brown, so you can't see through it. So you have no idea what's in there.
It's scary.
So scary.
이 할아버지는 여기 계신데요. 이거 뭐예요 이거? 지나가다가 이상한 검은 새들이 여기 쉬고 있길래 가까이 가는 중인데 이거 뭐예요? 웨이가 벌처라는데 이게 벌처 맞나요? 가까이 가도 되나? 공격하지 않겠지? 이렇게 인원이 많은데 와 이거 뭐야 막 고양이 같은 거 먹었어요. 깃털이 이만해. 오. 이것이 레이 할아버지를 기념하는 공간이래요.
So my grandfather was heavily involved in the city here. He worked on the city planning committee and a bunch of other organizations, and he was very well loved by the community here. So when he passed away in 2012, the city dedicated this whole section to him. They named it after him and they put a little memorial for him, which I think is just so sweet. And this is my first time coming here because I was not able to attend my grandfather's funeral. You know what? It makes me so mad because I was working in a department store at the time. So I could go on and on and on about this, but they refused to give me time off of work to attend my grandfather's funeral. So I missed out on everything. At least I can come here now, though.
우리 웨이 아버지를 보러 가는 거라 빈손으로 가긴 좀 그래서 꽃을 사러 왔어요.
I guess we could do this. I was gonna do real flowers, but I guess this is probably
It lasts longer.
better. I
Or
feel
do-
like I'm doing something like so cheap.
Because that's the best we can do here. Yeah, maybe
American
US.
flag.
Yeah, American flag.
But I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
Let's grab
혹시
this.
모르니까 생화랑 그리고 플라스틱이랑 다 가져갈게요. 묘지를 저희가 한 번도 안 가봐가지고 어떻게 돼 있는지 모르겠거든요. 규정도 모르고.
I don't know the policy there about fresh versus fake flowers. I know for a fact fake flowers are fine, but fresh, we'll find out. So we just got two just in case.
Yeah.
Turn left, then turn right.
This is a kind of a bigger cemetery than I remember.
레이가 여기는 15년 만에 오는 거라서 장인어른이 어디 묻혀 있는지 잘 모르겠대요. 그래서 한번 둘러봐야 될 것 같아요. 레이가 나무 밑에 묻혀 계신다고 그러는데 다 나무 밑인데.
So it's gonna be, you see that middle, just so you can know a landmark around where close. It's gonna be, of course, after this one. You see that little Christmassy looking one?
Yeah, so it's over in that direction.
Yeah.
Oh, right here. There we go.
Here.
It must have been a while. Because I'm not sure who would have left flowers here. Guess I can stick this next to it. Okay. Wow.
미국이란 땅은 엄청나게 커서 장인어른 뵈러 가는 것도 쉽지가 않아요. 장인어른을 결혼하고 5년 만에 이렇게 뵙네요. 한국식으로 절 한번 올려드릴게요.
I really wonder who left this. Because we don't have any family that's still living around here. Everyone lives like a couple of hours away from here. My grandparents used to live really close to here, so they would always come, but they both passed away. So yeah.
누군지 몰라도 이렇게 저희 장인어른을 이렇게 돌보고 계셨어요.
Plastic is just disintegrating, so
Yeah,
probably my grandma.
음,
Because she's the only person that lived around here, and she passed away right before we came back to the United States. So that's crazy. Oh. I thought about whether or not I should, what is the word, disinter him
yeah, 파묘.
and cremate him and then put him wherever I put my mom and my brother. However, the cost is crazy. They said just to do the disinterment would be like $4,000. Then you have to do the cremation, which is several $1,000s. Transport, oh, they said you have to pay a transport fee. It will be at least $10,000, so I'm still not sure what I should do.
Isn't this like a real estate? So that you can sell it?
Yeah, I asked, and because my mom was the owner, and because she passed away, I'm now the owner automatically. I don't even have to do any paperwork in Virginia. It's just I own this. And they said, oh, if I disinter my father, then I can just sell this grave spot on Facebook Marketplace.
음,
And I was looking, and the cost is really inexpensive, only a couple $100s. So it's not really I don't need to worry about that.
so it's whether we should take him out and bury with your mom and your brother and stuff, right? But it costs like $10K at minimum.
Minimum, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, I could bury my mom here, but she didn't want that.
Yeah, your mom's will is not here, so
Because my mom didn't care about Virginia. She only lived here because of my dad,
yeah.
not because she liked Virginia. So, but it feels weird that he's just here alone.
Yeah. 그래서 저희 여행의 마지막은 여기 장인어른을 뵈러 오는 거였어요. Don't cry. Okay.
It's okay, I know it's okay. I just don't like that I have to sit here by myself. Like your dad's grave is also far away from like your family, so it's kind of sad. Oh.
저희 장인어른은 돌아가실 때 유언이 없으셨대요. 그래서 저희가 이걸 파묘하는 게 맞는지도 모르겠고, 근데 저희 장모님은 유언이 시애틀 그 Mount, what was your mom's view?
Mount Rainier and also like the water around Seattle.
그래서 이거를 그 시애틀에 있는 마운트 레이니어 산 그 계곡에다가 흩뿌려 달라고 그랬어요. 그래서 저희가 작년에는 좀 레이가 아직 슬퍼하기도 하고 마음의 준비 안 됐다고 그래가지고 따뜻한 날만 기다리고 있었거든요. 그래서 아마 올해 여름에 그 장모님 유언대로 그 마운트 레이니어 산에 가서 재를 뿌릴 것 같아요. 근데 그때 할 때 이왕이면은 그 장인어른도 같이 거기다가 같이 하는 게 맞나 싶기도 한데 잘 모르겠어요. 이걸 어떻게 해야 될지. I think it's up to you because it's your property, you know.
Yeah, I just don't know what the best choice is, you know?
Yeah.
Because like he's already buried here, so.
Yeah. 그리고 여기 장인어른이 여기 묻혀 계시는 것도 장인어른이 선택이 아니었대요. 여기 할머니 할아버지가 여기다가 매장하기로 한 거라서 장인어른의 의견은 저희도 몰라요. 뭐 어떤 걸 원하시는지.
I mean, I'm pretty certain I'll just leave him here. It just
Feel bad that you're
feels bad.
leaving him here alone, like
Yeah.
middle of nowhere.
Literally no other family members are buried here. At least we had the chance to come.
Yeah.
I'm glad you came with me.
Mhm.
Thank you.
It's an honor. Thank you. Thank you for showing your dad for the first time.
I noticed that the grave is like covered a little bit. I wonder if we
Nice.
should like dig around.
Yeah, I should. Yeah. 여기 저희가 언제 또 돌아올지 모르니까 이렇게 묘비 주변에 이렇게 잡초 같은 것도 좀 뽑고 그리고 잘 좀 꾸미고 인사드리고 가도록 하겠습니다. 저희가 비행기 타고 와가지고 삽이나 막 쇳덩어리 같은 것들 못 들고 오니까 손으로 하는 거예요.
Oh, that's so much better.
You should bring the gardening equipment.
Oh, next time we come here?
Yeah.
Oh my god. We're gonna have to go to the bathroom somewhere. Alright. I'm glad we came. Thank you.
Yeah.
Who knows how long it'll be until we come back again. Yeah. Lisa looks nice now.
Yeah. 안녕히 계세요, 장인어른.
Okay, let's go.
가자.
Or kaja. And I said jaja. I'm sleepy, I think. 가자.
안녕히 계세요.
Bye bye.
다음에 또 뵈러 올게요.
Bye bye. Until next time.
바이바이. 안녕히 계세요. 레이가 발걸음이 안 떨어지나 봐요. 다음에 또 오자. 저희 곧 또 올게요.